Next up, ways to improve your financial health. Take a look at this.
Financial planning can be confusing sometimes. Where to turn, who to call, what to do. But it doesn't have to be that way. With some careful thought and the right team, you can navigate your financial future with success. Watch this.
Hi, my name is Jorge Blanco. I'm a certified financial planner. And a certified financial planner will look at every facet of your finances, advise you on each and every one of them to make sure that you have a game plan that's comprehensive and cohesive. It's important for people to plan their goals, whether they're short-term, middle-term, and long-term, and make sure that the investment strategies that they apply are appropriate. We want to make sure that the goals that you have the next 2 years are more safe and certain, no risk. Goals in the middle term, you can afford to take a little bit more risk, and the goals for the long term is where you can afford to be more diversified and more aggressive in hopes to make more money.
Here are some thoughts to consider.
A planner would also look at your investments. They would advise you on where to invest your money, whether stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs. In mutual funds, you get professional management and exposure to hundreds of companies. And you hire a fund manager who has the expertise in selecting the stocks on your behalf. That allows you to diversify your risk and reduce the chances of losing all your money because of a bankruptcy of one company or another. But over the long term, it allows you to create a portfolio that gives you the biggest chances of success.
Managing your debt is also a key component.
And if you have debts, help you create a game plan to most efficiently pay off your debt. Depending on the interest rate that you're being charged on your card, the minimum payment that people are required to make is typically 2%. Now, if you simply make the minimum payments, it could take you as much as 14 to even 25 years to pay off the full balance. Most credit card statements now, at the very least, they show you what it would take for you to pay them off in 3 years. So if you can afford to at least send that payment to pay it off in 3 years, you should. Otherwise, there's plenty of online calculators that people can use to determine how they can pay it off most efficiently.
Even the life insurance plan you choose can play a role in your financial health.
There are two main types of life insurance, temporary and permanent. The temporary, people know it as term insurance, and permanent is either whole life, universal life, variable universal life, index universal. The main difference between the two is term insurance is the cheap type of coverage. You basically sign up for a number of years in which an insurance company will provide protection for you. And over the long term is typically the cheapest short-term solution. Whole life insurance, otherwise, they cover you for your entire life. And even though the premiums are a little bit higher, it may be appropriate for some people. The majority of people are probably best off just getting term insurance to provide for the coverage that they need.
You've probably heard the term IRA before, but there are different types and they each have their benefits.
A traditional IRA and a Roth IRA and type of vehicles that people can use to save for retirement. The main difference is taxation. So an IRA, the way I like to describe it is think of it as if you have a seed and you put it on the ground, you save taxes on that seed. That means that your contribution is tax deductible. But also that seed starts growing and flourishing to becoming a plant. So as your money grows, there's no taxation on your earnings. However, when you do retire and you take the money out of the traditional IRA, your whole crop becomes 100% taxable. The opposite is with the Roth IRA. The seed that you put on the ground is with after-tax dollars. There's no tax incentive for you to save into that vehicle. But the earnings of that seed grow on a tax-deferred basis. It grows tax-free. There's no one chopping away the gains of your plant. But then when you have a crop, especially after age 59 and a half, the entire proceed comes out 100% tax-free.
And finally, if your employer has an investment matching contribution plan, taking part in it is a good idea.
And this is because many employers offer something called a match. That simply says, whenever you contribute money, we're going to match it and give you a contribution. Consider at the very least to contributing 6%. That way you can double your money before you even invest. Work with an advisor to figure out what the appropriate risk tolerance should be for the goals that you're trying to accomplish. And then when you work with an advisor, they'll be able to help you figure out what kind of risk you can afford to take. In advance, you'll be able to be educated around the pros and cons of every strategy that you take. You'll be able to get an idea when things are bad, what kind of losses you should expect in your portfolio, and when things are good, what kind of gains you should expect in your portfolio.
For more information about Success Wealth Management, visit successwealthmanagement.com and, of course, our website, thebalancingAct.com.